What's up everybody, welcome back. Today I've got a very special review for you guys, and we are taking a long-term look at this guy right here, which is the Indie Sling Bag from Andar. So I made a video about this a while back, and honestly I just felt like this needed to be revisited because I've been using the hell out of it for probably like 7 or 8 months now. And you know, one of the things that I guess is a big part of the appeal of a high quality leather good is how it ages over time. And so usually when you do a review of something like this, you don't have enough time to really see how much it changes, and also kind of depending on how much you actually use it, it can be hard to kind of gauge how well something like this holds up over time. So that's why I wanted to kind of revisit it, and I have a lot of great things to say about it, so let's jump into it. So starting off with the materials, the Indie from Andar is made of premium full grain leather. And so when you're looking for a high quality leather good, one of the top things that I highly recommend you look for is whether or not it is a full grain material. Full grain just meaning that they haven't kind of scraped away any of the natural characteristics that are on top of the leather, and you're really gonna get that, you know, textured, almost like grain character type look. You're gonna be able to really see that this is leather. You're gonna be able to see it age. You know, there's ways of finishing it where you can kind of smooth out any imperfections. My personal preference is, you know, getting it as natural as humanly possible so that you can see all of those imperfections. But I have to say, as far as bags go, very high quality leather. You're gonna get that leather smell, that leather feel. It has like a really soft temper, so it's going to be, you know, not a very stiff bag, but it's rigid enough specifically because of the lining on the inside where it doesn't feel like flimsy or like it's going to rip or anything like that. This guy will set you back $134, and they oftentimes have like promo codes and sales. I have my own promo code you guys can use down in the link below for 15% off, I believe. But, you know, as far as pricing for a high quality leather, you know, fanny pack, essentially, I think that's a pretty fair price, especially with the attention to detail that you're getting here. A lot of times, like when you get kind of smaller bags like this, their ability to produce it really does change pretty dramatically depending on who makes it, and there's just little differences. You know, as someone who makes leather goods myself, I've noticed that are just extremely hard to achieve when you hand make something. Like, you know, the wrapping of the leather around where the zipper's hidden, and just certain things like that. Like you'll notice the more and more you look at the details, all the stitching is perfect. You know, everything looks really top tier. So, you know, build quality, very solid. It also comes in about 9 different colors now, I think, and you're seeing all those right now. But yeah, so 9 different colors. I went with this one in what's called camel because I like, you know, starting with a very brown color and seeing how it ages. The case that I had for my iPhone 14 Pro Max was the Andar Aspen, I believe is what it's called, in the same color. And given a phone is something that you're holding and kind of using significantly more than any bag or anything like that, you can see how much that's aged. So, you know, given that it's the exact same leather, the exact same color, you could expect this to age similarly, you know, as you use it for years and years to come. The inside of the bag is lined with this like canvas material. You've got, you know, 2 bigger pockets that are lined with leather as well. And then you have, you know, the zipper pocket in the back as well as a zipper pocket on the front. These straps are also made of canvas. You know, a lot of people are torn. Some people like leather straps, some people like canvas straps. I personally am a huge fan of this particular type of strap because straps are always something that, like, I guess are a little easier to replace, and they're definitely like a tension point that is understandably probably more likely to break than something like the body of the bag. But I will say, you know, as far as coloring goes, it's hard to pick the right color to match with every single one of these bags, and I don't know how I feel about like this cream colored strap, but I think when I try to think of like the other options, this is definitely probably the best one that I probably would have landed on inevitably. But yeah, so you get this cream colored strap. The hardware is like this heavy duty brass hardware, and it is fantastic. I haven't, you know, noticed it weakening over time. I primarily use this bag for runs, and so that's kind of my go-to use for it. And so, you know, the constant motion of me running hasn't kind of messed it up in any way. It's very easily adjustable, so you're able to kind of tighten it or loosen it on the go in a very easy to do manner. You even have this nice little leather keeper too, which I think is a nice touch. But overall, the quality of the strap is great. Like I said, I've been using the hell out of this bag for 7 or 8 months now, and I haven't noticed any sort of fraying or, you know, deterioration of it. It's like a very tight woven canvas, and the stitching is really great. I don't see it coming undone at all. And again, too, like my use case of this bag is in a pretty, I don't want to say like intense, but it's like, you know, a lot of heavy motion, and it's shaking around, and like you're feeling, it's like bouncing up and down. So I imagine instead of just like going on normal walks or throwing it over your shoulder, like that's the use I use for it, is probably a little bit more rough on it, and it's held up extremely well. And so I've been very impressed with that. Another thing too that I want to note is that a lot of times when you're running with a fanny pack of some sort, it loosens up the more you run. I don't know if it's just like the way, you know, you're bouncing, it'll like kind of spread it open, and then it's like looser on your hip, and you're constantly having to tighten it. The tension of the strap staying to the size that you adjusted it to remains the same. I never have to adjust it. It's always exactly where I left it, and so I appreciate that quite a bit as well. Like, as far as the size of the bag itself, that's another thing that kind of varies a lot when it comes to bags like this. But I genuinely love the size. It's like the perfect size for that run type use case and what I use it for. It's not too big to where it's like annoying on my waist, but it's also not too small to where I can't fit everything I need in it. Like even when I'm on vacations and stuff like that, and I don't want to lug a backpack around or my bigger leather bag around, I can fit my wallet, which is a very big wallet, relatively speaking. I could fit that, my 15 or 14 Pro Max phone in there, my keys, AirPods. Like it's just a very perfect size bag for me, and I like that it like lays pretty flat as well, like relatively. Like you'll see some really bulky fanny packs out there, and this one is just like a perfect size. Also too, when it comes to like build quality, another piece of it is, you know, leather notoriously is not the best friend of rain, and so, you know, there's merit to like not wanting a bag like this, because if you're going to be using it out in the rain or where it's wet, because over time leather and water, unless it's like, you know, Chrome Excel leather, like some kind of non-veg tan leather, it'll end up kind of warping it in some way or another. Like I said, I use this all the time. I live in Seattle, which is notoriously one of the most rainy places in the US, and the amount of runs I've gone on in the rain with this bag, I've lost count of at this point. And never once has anything inside of it gotten wet or damaged. Never once has the bag, you know, warped or gotten weird looking or anything like that. Like it holds up really well in the rain. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend like dunking it underwater or anything like that, or like, you know, I don't know what the breaking point is, to be honest, for water damaging it, but I feel like I've given it a pretty fair shake as far as using it in that kind of weather condition. And as you guys can see, there's no stains, there's no weird warping, there's like, you know, maybe it's the canvas liner that's like on the other side of the leather that's like keeping all your stuff dry, but legitimately no issues in that regard. So another point right there. All in all, you know, one thing about me, and this maybe is like a product of me making videos like this or just being a nerd about like gadgets and leather stuff, is, you know, I feel like I'm always kind of on the search for, you know, the perfect piece of gear to kind of fit into, you know, a slot of my life. You know, I'll get something and I'll be like, oh, I like A, B, C, and D about this particular item, but I wish it did this. And then like in the background in my head, I'm just constantly looking for something that does all of it, or like is a little bit better, I guess. And this is one of the few pieces of gear in my, I guess, rotation that I've completely stopped looking for anything else to almost like upgrade to, if that makes sense. And like, even like I kind of alluded to, like I make leather goods myself. I've made fanny packs in the past, and I've made them with the specific type of leather that I really love, which is Horween leather. Andar, if you're listening, I really would love if you made some stuff out of Horween. I don't know what the process is for that, so it's probably easier said than done, but still. Anyway, sidetracked. I've made fanny packs myself to try to like fill this pocket of goods in my life, and I can't come anywhere close to as nice as this, which, you know, again, I haven't been doing it that long, but that is definitely a testament to how high quality it is, I think, because, you know, even though maybe this leather isn't Horween leather, it's still incredibly high quality, and you get all the things that people love about leather, like the feel, the smell, and just how it ages and things like that, that I would rather use this than something that's in my, like, you know, dream world scenario type of leather, if that makes sense. So like, that's how good the design is, that's how well it's made, that's how perfect the strap is. I really, you know, can't emphasize it enough. I think this thing is fantastic. You know, they have tons of different colors, so there's always something for everybody. And you can, you know, find what you're looking for and even match it to your other gear, which is why I got this one in camel tan, because I love the way that the case looks with it. So anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed kind of those B-roll clips. I, you know, had a freaking blast shooting those because, you know, that was like the first kind of set of clips I shot with the new iPhone 15 Pro Max, which I will have some videos on coming very shortly. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys sticking in there with me. And until next time, peace.